I can name about a dozen people who are over 50 years old who have launched YouTube channels. And some of these people are pretty amazing. They talk about relationships, they talk about their work experiences. Some of them are sharing hobby advice. But of all the people that I've watched, people over 50 years old, there is one channel that really stands out. This channel created by a fellow out of California named Nick Latuanio. He's a 58-year-old dude who's got a channel that's really just starting to rock. He's got just over 260, I think it is, subscribers. Well, I interviewed Nick. He really goes deep into how and why he started his channel. He gives some pretty good advice. So if you're a person who is looking at or considering starting a channel, you're over 50 years old and you're wondering if it's for you, watch this video. Watch it all the way through. You'll get some great advice from a guy who's doing it right. That's up next, right here on Over 50 TV. Well, we're with Nick Latuanio today. It's a Saturday morning, a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm in Cleveland. Nick, you're in what, California?
California, just north of San Francisco.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that's that 3-hour time difference that we got. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to get you on our program here is because I am a big fan of your channel. I'm going to put a link so that our viewers can see it. For somebody who was over 50 by a decade, I got to tell you, I get a lot of great tips, and I'm hoping our viewers will get tips from you today on some of the things that you cover in your videos. So let me start out by just asking you, what made you start a YouTube channel?
Well, there were two things, Lou. The first thing is I was in a position where I could do a career change. I worked in the television business and transitioned to running a creative agency, which I did for about 30 years, and got to a place in my career where I could minimize my involvement in that. And as I was looking forward, I'm 58, as I was looking forward into what I wanted to do, something that had always been a passion for me is being active, getting outside, skiing, riding my bike, working in the garden. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to do as we get older. To kind of keep that train rolling is not easy. And then I saw all of the bad information in the health and fitness industry. And there are so many people out there really just trying to sell you their version of the fountain of youth, and people buy it. And I said, you know what? I can start a YouTube channel. I can actually reach people with a different message, and that message is being healthy, being fit should be simple. You should be able to start with small things and build on those. And you don't have to look like a supermodel.
Let me kind of like just dig a little bit deeper into your channel. I happen to notice that you actually started your YouTube channel way back 2006. What was your thinking when you, way back in 2006, keeping in mind YouTube wasn't started till December 2005. So you were an early adopter to this whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't start my YouTube channel in 2006. I probably found YouTube and started it inadvertently, if you know what I mean. But because I owned a creative agency and I was in kind of television, YouTube, I became aware of it very, very early, because it literally was and has changed the way that you and I and people in your audience are able to access and consume content. So your background, though, in you said kind of in television, did that give you like a leg up when you launched your channel, when you really decided to launch this channel? I think it was a double-edged sword. I think because of my background, I understood a lot of things about production and how to make content. And I think, you see that on my channel. My videos are pretty good from that perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it took me a while to really get the content side of things, to really begin to sharpen my focus, understand my audience, and create a message that's going to kind of reach the people who who I hope to reach. Yeah, I think it was a double-edged sword.
What to you is the most important element of the video?
First and foremost, there has to be a message that the audience cares about, that resonates with them. All of the production hoo-ha and tricks in the world will not cover a glaring error in kind of meeting the audience's needs. So the first thing that I really concentrate on is, what is the problem I'm trying to help the audience with? Is it getting started with fitness? Is it going to the Grand Canyon? Is it learning to ride a bike at a later age? Whatever it is, that, is the thrust or the point of the video. Now, the production stuff that I do, I enjoy doing it. It's fun for me to make videos. I had clients my whole career telling me, I want blue when I wanted to make it yellow, or they told me to go left when I thought they should go right. So the ability, the freedom to make fun content and combine that with messages that resonate with my audience, that's really the sweet spot for me. And that's why I get excited. I'm excited about what I do and excited about the opportunity to help folks.
What are the steps that you take when you just sit down one day and say, I'm going to write or do a video on the Grand Canyon? I mean, what are the steps? Can you kind of take us through that?
Sure, I absolutely can. So I do create a list of show ideas, video ideas. And, these ideas usually kind of, I'm in the shower and I come up with an idea, or I'm on a bike ride and I come up with an idea. And, 3/4 of those ideas get thrown away because they're not very good. Because the next step is I go on to YouTube. I look at Google Trends. I use some types of tools to figure out what is important to people over 50. What do they care about? Because what I want to do is meet that need and combine it with something that is entertaining and inspirational. So once I have vetted an idea and I know that it is viable, that's like, okay, there's something here we can work with, then I look for the hook of the idea. And the hook is really what the audience, their primary care about is, so I just did a video on, should you join AARP? For me, the idea behind that video was, here I am 58 and somehow I still think that, AARP is not for me. Right. I mean, and that got me thinking. So I find that core idea. And then I start to use a 3-part structure of storytelling. There's a problem at the beginning that everyone kind of, they nod at, they go, yep, I get that. And then there's some kind of story in the middle that takes us down a road, and there's a solution at the end. And so I outline that. And typically I write it out, and then I do the video. And I tend not to read my script. But because I've written my script, it's in my head. And so I can kind of talk it out.
So, and what kind of equipment do you use? Are you using your iPhone, your iPad? I mean, what kind of equipment do you use to produce your videos?
I have used my iPhone in the past. There's a video on my channel where I went to visit my daughter in Oregon for college, and I shot the whole thing on an iPhone 11, and I was shocked by the quality, actually. But I primarily use a micro 3/4 camera, the Lumix G5. I like the ability to change lenses, and because my career was around technology, a lot of the technology comes pretty naturally to me. It's not a barrier, but it's certainly not necessary to make quality videos.
Nick, is there a tip that you can give a YouTuber who is over 50, or somebody rather who is over 50? Is there a tip you can give somebody over 50 who's thinking about starting a YouTube channel?
Something that you told me, Lou, that we talked about extensively, that is absolutely 100% true, is you have to focus in on something you care about and don't try and be too broad. Don't try and be too many things to too many people. You have to, what they call, niche down. And I would say find something that you care about and then get on YouTube and see who else is doing it. That is step number one. And then the second step for me that was really, really important was spending time understanding who I wanted to talk to. You know, I have a 4-page target audience analysis where I take this one guy who I call JP and I wrote his whole story. Why would JP watch me? Why does he care? What's he going through? What's she going through? What are the people who are going to watch you? What do they care about? A mistake I made at the beginning was I did what I wanted to do. And I had to temper that. I have to combine that with what my audience needs, and then I can layer what I want to do. That would be my number one tip. That, and success doesn't come overnight, and you got to be consistent.
Well, today you've just given us quite a few nuggets of wisdom, Nick, and I do appreciate your coming on here today. And I will put your link, all your information in the description box, so people, if they want to check you out, and I hope that they do, not just to see what a guy's doing with his YouTube channel, but to get the advice, the kind of advice that I believe you can give, that you do give, that will help a lot of people. So Nick, I just want to thank you again, buddy.
I wanted to thank you, Lou, for giving me the opportunity. You've spent a good amount of time building a dedicated audience, and I appreciate you taking the time to put me in front of those folks, and I appreciate those folks who are watching. So thank you.